single moment of hesitation can turn a fortune into a lesson. In the quiet outskirts of a dusty village, a laborer spent his years turning the earth. His life was measured in sacks of soil and the steady heartbeat of the donkey that carried his burden. One afternoon, the sun caught a glint of something buried deep within the clay. He unearthed a stone that pulsed with a strange, cold fire, though to him it was merely a beautiful trinket. Seeking only to brighten his donkey's weary gait, he tied the stone to the animal's worn leather collar. He didn't see a fortune, he saw a flash of light in a monotonous life. The village shopkeeper, a man of simple means and sharp eyes, noticed the donkey's new ornament. As the laborer stopped for supplies, the merchant found himself mesmerized by the stone's rhythmic swinging. "What a curious thing you found," the merchant remarked, masking his growing intrigue. The laborer shrugged, explaining it was a gift from the earth, found while digging in the trenches. Recognizing a beauty he couldn't quite name, the merchant offered 50 rupees for the stone. To the laborer, this was a week's wages for a pebble, and the deal was struck with a smile. The merchant hung the stone from the arm of his brass weighing scales, right at eye level. It became the silent witness to every transaction, gathering the admiration of every customer who entered. Days later, a renowned jeweler entered the shop, his eyes trained by decades of appraising the world's hidden treasures. His breath hitched as he recognized the trinket for what it truly was. It wasn't just a stone, it was a diamond of rare clarity, a masterpiece of nature hanging in a grocery shop. He knew it was worth millions, yet his heart was gripped by a sudden, cold greed. "What is this glass you've hung here?" the jeweler asked, his voice casual and dismissive. The merchant smiled warmly, explaining he had bought the shiny thing from a local worker for 50 rupees. The jeweler saw an opportunity to exploit the merchant's ignorance and offered 100 rupees. He expected the shopkeeper to jump at the chance to double his modest investment. The merchant, however, felt a strange attachment to the stone's beauty and held firm on his price. "If it is worth 100 to you, then 100 is what I must have," he insisted. The merchant, however, felt a strange attachment to the stone's beauty and held firm on his price. "If it is worth 100 to you, then 100 is what I must have," he insisted. Driven by a habit of petty bargaining, the jeweler sneered, "I will give you 80, not a paisa more. If you refuse, I shall leave you with your glass and your scales." The merchant did not budge, and the jeweler walked away, convinced the man would break by morning. He planned to return the next day, confident that 90 rupees would seal the deal. That very evening, fate intervened when a second jeweler's car broke down just outside the village. Seeking a phone and a cold drink, he stepped into the merchant's humble establishment. The second jeweler saw the diamond and did not blink, did not bargain, and did not hesitate. He handed over the 100 rupees immediately, his hands trembling with the weight of his luck. The following morning, the first jeweler returned, a smug grin on his face and 90 rupees in his pocket. He looked at the scales, but the fire in the room had gone out. The stone was gone. "Where is the stone?" he demanded, his voice rising in a sudden panic. The merchant replied calmly, "Another gentleman saw its value and paid my price without a single argument." The jeweler's face turned ashen as he realized the magnitude of what he had lost over a mere 20 rupees. "You fool!" he screamed. "That was a priceless diamond, and you gave it away for nothing." The merchant laughed softly, a sound of pure, grounded wisdom that silenced the jeweler's rage. "I didn't know its value, yet I gained 50 rupees and a lesson in beauty," the merchant said. "But you," the merchant continued, "you knew exactly what it was, and yet you let it slip for the price of a meal. Tell me, sir, who is the real fool here,